Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World live stream. Usually what I do is I give people who are Patreon members of mine a chance to get into the session first. I apologize to them because this time I didn't do that because I was running behind schedule, so I just kind of got the live stream going. How's it going, everyone? I think it's Tuesday. I got a lot of work to do, believe it or not. I'm so busy between two YouTube channels. I thought I was busy before I had two YouTube channels. Now it's like I'm so incredibly busy, I'm deciding what I'm not going to get done for the day. You know, it's weird. Well, anyways, today we're going to be fighting anything you guys want to fight, and that's because we're warming up for the arrival of Alatreon. That's right, we're going to practice just playing with the weapons. You guys can make weapon requests. If you make a donation, feel free to tell me what weapon we're going to play with today, what weapon you want to see next, so you have some control over what happens in the live stream. And yeah, we're just getting ready for the launch of Alatreon very soon. I think everyone's super hyped. I'm hyped. And it's weird. It'll be back to work on this channel, won't it? We kind of took a hibernation break, didn't we? That's right. There was a content drought, and there really wasn't that much to do. And so I just been busy on my card streams, opening up thousands of dollars of Pokemon cards over there, which we do like every night now. It's really crazy how much it's grown. It's a big part of my life now. It's really wild. Anyways, but over here, we're just getting ready for Alatreon, and hopefully he kicks our booty holes, and that's why we got to practice, because I don't want to get my booty hole pushed in too hard. Mikolaj says, where are the PC streams? I was thinking we could do, like, PlayStation PC tomorrow? Wait, tomorrow he launches, right? When does Alatreon actually launch? You think I would know this? I'm pretty sure he launches tomorrow. Alatreon launch date. The 9th of July, with more details coming this Friday, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. That probably means the 8th for us, right? Oops. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, that's the developer diary. We'll be making its way to Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PC on July 9th. Thursday. I never trust those dates because there's always this weird thing that happens where it's like it's already the next day in Japan. You know what I mean? Tomorrow. Okay, so people are saying it's the 8th. That's what I thought. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the best way to make donations before we get started, because, you know, people will make super chat donations, and I always have to educate you guys a little bit. When you guys do a super chat, did you know 30% of the donation actually goes to YouTube? Not very good. YouTube siphons off 30% of that. If you want 100% of the donation to go to me, the person you're actually donating to, be sure to check out the Streamlabs link in the description of the live stream. That's where you can donate using PayPal, you can donate with a credit card, either of those options. And the whole donation actually goes to me, and a little lady, robot lady, will actually talk whatever message you leave behind, so it's a lot of fun. Okay, so Max K says, do you think Alatreon will be sticky proof? He ought to be. I guess if he wasn't, how would they do that? So somebody was mentioning with the gun lances that explosive shell damage isn't going to work. I guess that's interesting, but it's kind of sucky too, because that's kind of the thing that the gun lances do. So we'll find out. We'll find out for sure. I wish he was. Sticky ammo's way too strong in this game right now. What if he wasn't? Everyone would just be using... Oh, look at that. Due to the impact of global coronavirus outbreak, some content features limited voice dialogue. Crazy. So actually, we should be able to go over here and find out how much time is left, right? Hold on. I could have just gone over here, couldn't I have? Title update 24. Expires in 2 days, it says, huh? Huh, 2 days. Weird. Weird. Brian says, how's it going, Gameconomist? It's going great. Oh my god, tomorrow hype! He launched tomorrow at 7 p.m. for you, same time zone for me. Okay, thank you very much. Can you do a new Zora Magdaros heavy bowgun build? I could, probably, but I'm probably not going to. I could. What is this? Is this a lance? Oh, we were playing lance yesterday, and I was beating up on the lance like I typically do. People were so salty about it, too. I love it. Should just get a full-time job making lance players angry. Let's see if anyone's posted anything. You're not doing it right, mister. They were mad at the voice, too. I do this little voice, right? I do the little Mickey Mouse voice. I do the little kid voice. They were so mad about it. They're like, "That's disrespectful." Really? On the internet, that was disrespectful? Oh no. They're gonna start telling me I gotta get canceled. Cancel them. You are an amazing YouTuber, and the reason I still play the game. I always think, what would the Gameconomist do? You're that good. Oh wow, thanks, man. That's pretty flattering. Mecha says I would join, but because my save file has my I can't speak IRL name. I'm like trying to do the abbreviation, but trying to pronounce it at the same time. I thought twice, and I'm not gonna do it. What? You don't want people to know your full name? Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh man. Oh man. You don't want people to know your full name. What are you trying to hide? What do you got to hide, mister? So what weapon should we start out with? I don't know. Light bowgun, insect glaive. I love insect glaive. Switch axe is fun. I've been practicing the switch axe a lot, actually. Have you guys noticed that? I'm trying to get good with the switch axe. It's a great weapon. It's taken a while for me to like agree that it's a great weapon, but it is. Lance Big Stinky Poo Poo. Are you going to elemental builds for Alatreon? Quite possibly, yes. If we're forced to do elemental builds, we're going to end up having to rework all of our builds. It'll be a good thing, though. So let's see. Wait, we haven't even chosen a fight. Let's choose a fight. Let's choose a fight. Join quests. Events. Well, that's full. Oh, dude, it's pouring outside. All right, let me mention something since we've just started. Let me mention something. If the screen blanks out, like if I lag out for a long time, I'm still having internet problems. I have not solved them. I got to contact Spectrum. So if we blank out, it's going to go dark for like 5 minutes. But if you wait 5 minutes, I'll probably return. The other thing I want to mention is raining outside really hard right now. And sometimes the internet gives out when it rains real hard. So both of those things. Lance is the most OP weapon in Iceborne, mister. Hey, mister. Mister, how could you say that about the Lance, mister? Alright, let's go ahead and join an SOS. You better not be talking about Lance that way. Charge Blade is good for elemental. It's not a bad idea to rework a few different weapon builds. What is going on here? Are lances better for elemental damage or just raw physical? Lance has always been okay for elemental. It's not like I wouldn't call it like a super powerful elemental damage weapon. It does like a mixed elemental raw damage setup. Weapons that are really good at elemental tend to be weapons that shoot very quickly. Shoot or attack. I say shoot because I was thinking of the bow right away. The bow does a lot of elemental damage. So weird. It searches for stuff to join, but it's like really, really slow right now. Gameconomist also said he absolutely positively do a 24-hour live stream when the Alatreon comes out. Oh my god. Do you think I should still do it? It's such a pain. I'll be wiped out. People at my card stream will be like, where'd Gameconomist go? Everyone's a critic. Legiana left behind. What's assigned? Look at this poor guy. He's going to fight Shrieking Legiana. Let me go in and help him. Come on. Let me go in and help him. We're going to go in and help this guy. He's going to get poopied on if he doesn't get a little bit of help. Dude, that thunder. I don't think so. We have -5, so let's go ahead and just eat for damage. How would be amazing against Alatreon? What? Greysword is great against everything. That's right. With full Sophy, does a ton of damage. Do you think sticky ammo builds will be good to fight Alatreon? Wow, you're the second person to ask that already. That's a great question. I have no clue. We'll find out when he shows up. You might find out that sticky ammo KOs him, and that's really good for the team. Who knows? We'll find out when he shows up. Does anyone know if he's been data mined yet? I don't think he'll be data mined until after the update comes out, the patch. How about just a long stream, then like 3 to 5 hours maybe? Yeah, we'll probably have a long stream, probably like a 4-hour stream. Maybe we'll have a 2-hour Xbox stream, 2-hour PC stream, 2-hour PlayStation stream. We could do that. So maybe like a 6-hour stream that day. Just, you know, we'll figure it out when it shows up. I got a lot of streaming ahead of me. Yesterday night, I did a 6-hour card stream. Did you guys know that? I did a 6-hour Pokemon card stream. Whoa! Snakes Tube says, "Hey, mister, we are using the Xeno Heavy Bowgun today. Spread the love, baby. Your punishment was too severe yesterday." Oh my god. All right. You got it, Snakes Tube. Woo! This episode brought to you by Snakes Tube. That's some big dough, man. What the? And what do you want me to use? Zenogre Heavy Bowgun. So you want Zenogre Heavy Bowgun. Alright, so give me a second. It's the burst cannon. You know, I don't really like this burst cannon setup. I don't really see myself using it, you know what I mean? With all the Sophy and all that. People act like this is the end-all setup that you've got to use. Let's put a build together from scratch. So first of all, I'm going to leave this. Unfortunately. I don't want him sitting there waiting for me to join. Because that's, you know, I want to leave those spots open for others. Let's go ahead and get category. We're going to choose Heavy Bowgun. Woo! Going deep. Sophy Snipe Cannon. Where is the Ruinous Destruction? There's so many. Oh, here it is. Loyal Thunder. Alright, so Loyal Thunder. It's actually already a pretty cool looking weapon. And honestly, I just can't see myself running without... Well, hold on. Let me think about it for a minute. So, we really don't need True Spare Shot for this setup. Probably just Free Element. Probably the only thing I'd worry about. We got Free Element Charm. So there's the Free Element Charm. And then on the other side, we really just need to build Spread 2 and your normal Crit Boost setup, right? So I actually feel like we might even be able to get away with the particular... Well, I don't know. The Brachydios Greaves are so efficient. Let me see real fast. Those are the beta. Where's the alpha ones? 2 levels of weakness exploit and a spread power shot. That's a level 3 decoration slot. Nah, it's not really an improvement. So we keep the Brachydium Greaves on. Those are good. This is good. What about... I think we can actually keep this exact layout on us. Big PP donation. That's right. Woo! Huge PP. Massive PP. Mega PP. What about Magic the Gathering? You know, I've thought about doing other card sets, but I understand Pokemon cards really well. So I'm just kind of focusing on what I understand really well. Doing one thing really well. So Loyal Thunder. I don't remember if Loyal Thunder had yeah, it has Thunder Ammo. Okay. Go with Weakness Exploit. Why not? We've got this agitator set up. Oh. No, we're still here. We're still here. Hello, hello, hello. We're still here. No problem. Okay, again, it's raining real hard right now, guys. It's raining super hard, so it's probably knocking out my internet a little bit. Stay tuned. I don't have any plans to stop for the next 2 hours. So if it goes dark, I promise you I'm working to put the stream back together. Just become a thing that we do now. Let's search for spread. All right, now you guys help me out. If I'm forgetting something, you should tell me, okay? It's been a while since I put together a spread build. I really don't use them, do I? Okay, so we don't actually have to have both of those. I think we can actually drop this. For this shield. And then we'll... Oh, I got sneeze. And then we're going to pick up a Crit Boost. You actually would never drop Crit Boost. Crit Boost is way too important. Physique, Constitution, Tool Specialist. Darn, none of those are that good. Medicine, Constitution, Tool Specialist. Maybe Tool Specialist. I have the exact same setup. I followed your guide. Oh, nice. So we could either go, because we got Agitator 7. Man, these spread decorations are really expensive, actually. Let me take a look at our affinity real fast. Right, an affinity of 0% to start us out. We're going to get 30 with weakness exploit, 50 if we get a soft spot. And then agitator gives us, what is it? Is it like 25? I don't remember. What? 28. So it gives you 28. No, 20. There we go. 28 attack, 20% affinity. That would be about 70%. It's just not enough. How's it going, Trevin? He says, I love Monster Hunter. Nice, dude. Let's get our 1 expert jewel. And we're going to put on Iron Wall there. Let's go ahead and add... We could put on Glider Mantle. Oh, my cat's so cute. She's like, meow. Where spread? Spread them. Spread them cheeks. I probably have a crit eye Iron Wall skill as well. Yeah, Iron Wall expert. So that'll help a little bit. What do you guys think I'm missing, huh? Give me your opinion. What build are you using for Algren? For Algren, I'm not sure. Aguante Donald Trump. What? You can't say that. You can't say Aguante. If you're guarding, you don't need Divine Blessing. Ha 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 ha. If you just guard it, man. Just use guard. You'll never need Divine Blessing again. What are you talking about, boy? Don't you know I am the worst player ever? I always need Divine Blessing. So Agitator, Divine Blessing, Crit Eye, Health Boost. For element animal, am I missing anything? Crit Boost, Weakness, Exploit, Guard, Spread, Tool Specialist, Guard Up. Agitator, Secret, Divine Blessing, Secret. Let's go to Customize Bowgun. I've got 1 level of recoil, range, shield, special scope. I'm so not a fan of the special scope, but it gives you so much damage that you're giving up a ton of damage if you don't play this shit right here, the special scope. I hate it. I hate it. Power barrel, long barrel, wyvern heart, shield, ranged attack, close range, reload assist, recoil suppressor. I mean, if we remove this and put on another close range, it's not even close. But I feel like I would have more fun. I don't know. What do you guys think? Stupid idea? Ugh. I hate this. I hate the scope. I really do. All right, let's go ahead and join a quest. What are we joining? Achy Breaky. Throughout the Thunder? Really? Are they both full? What? What? They can't both be full. I think the Constitution 5 Charm is overkill. Any Raging Bracky tips for doo-doo players who use Lance. Raging Bracky tips? I do have actually some videos for Raging Bracky. Shield mod 3 plus guard 5 equals Lance guard. Burst cannon. Imagine having fun in Monster Hunter World. What is your build for Alatreon? I haven't decided yet. We'll know when Alatreon comes out. I'll start putting builds together, but I actually have to fight him first. By the way, I want to do another shout out for Snake's Tube. Thank you so much, man. That was a huge. He did a big PP donation. He did a $100 donation. Crazy. Real big donation. Here's Blizzard Blitz. Let's help this guy. Oh, failed to join the quest. Okay. Wow, man. Maybe I should just post one. There's distant dark tide. That scares me. Wrath of Thunder. Who would this really do a number on, I wonder? Let me think about it. Wolf out of hell? Since I really don't need any of these, maybe I will just join. The problem is, I'm all done with the game. Would you play Insectglaive? Sure I would. Yeah, Insectglaive's great. That's right. Blight resistance level 3 will help a lot with the Alatreon. What? You're lying. This guy's smoking pot. Smashing cross counter. Peon of Guidance. The Iceborne Wyvern. Let's help this guy. Saber's Maw. Let's see how it goes. Agitator, Divine Blessing, Crit Eye, Health Boost, Free Element, and... So we got Guard Up and Guard. Shouldn't be too hard. Let me make sure my item loadout makes sense. Anything special we need for this particular fight? Let's grab a hot drink real fast. Two Muscle Madness. I don't know about that, mister. I don't know about that. Oh, man. Oh, man. I was really hoping for a Lance buff just like they did with Sword and Shield Perfect Rush a while ago. Isn't that the wildest part, Abby? People who are in the Lance community are so mad at me for suggesting that the Lance is kind of underperforming versus the other weapons. And I make, in my point of view, I make a lot of fair points about the Lance. And then they're just like super mad. And then you just look over at the Sword and Shield, which was already pretty much doing better than the Lance. It has a cooler Iceborne move than the Lance does. And it got buffed. It got buffed and everyone's like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Nobody, I don't get it. Why don't you guys just buff the 2 least used weapons maybe? How about that? How about that, Capcom? Capcom? Your second spread deco will be active only for 300 seconds. You're probably right. I started crying when they announced another Barriath. What? Really? Those are some strong feelings, man. Alright, here we go. Time to beat this booty up. The IB Lance move is a walking death trap. The IB Lance move? What? Alright. Let's go ahead and have our drink. Unless you count deviants, Barriath is now the first monster to have both the variant and the subspecies. What? What is this crazy language? Capcom. Come on, Capcom. You're buffing the Sword and Shield. How about buffing the 2 least popular weapons, huh? Would that be too much? Am I asking too much? I don't think so. Running over here. That's 3 whole minutes of the fight. What, run into the monster? Yeah, pretty much. Or are you talking about the mantles? We got Glider Mantle and we got Impact Mantle. They hated him, for he spoke the truth. All demons are... Wait, where are we going? This way. You know, I really ought to have my little animal for this area. Maybe... Oh, man, I need to do that. I really badly need to do that. Buff, bow, nerf everything else. Sounds legit. Whoa, how far away is this guy? I hate this quest. I really hated this quest when I think this was the only quest that really gave me a lot of trouble. That and maybe fighting, you know, Shara Ishvala for the first time, that also gave me some trouble. So whenever I can help people with this quest, I'm always happy to help them. I don't remember, where's this monster weakest? Is it on the head? Oh, sorry, my TV's turned up. Hold on, turn this down real fast. Oh look, damage taken reduced. That's kind of nice. Man, look at all that chip damage. It'd be crazy if you reduced all that chip damage by 60%, right? That'd be crazy. Why would you do that? I don't even get a chance to shoot, man. That knockback, though. I'm not getting an opening. Yeah, you're tired or something, Velkhana. Oh, snap. I didn't realize I'd put the weapon away. Woo! I didn't even see it till the last second. I was just standing there because I was expecting the guard. Jesus. I feel like Velkhana's more aggressive in this mission than normal. You know what I mean? Like, I've fought Velkhana a lot, but this particular mission, Velkhana just feels so much worse. Oh, man. Can I just roll out of it? No. That was stupid of me. Whoa. Surprised that didn't actually hit my shield at all. You must be this tall to ride. Alright, perfect. So he's mounted him. We're gonna have the impact mantle ready. We're gonna try and hit him in the head. Perfect. Yeah, roar. Nope. His head's broken though. That's gonna suck. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna try and get that KO before the mantle runs out, so we're gonna play a little more aggressively now. Damn it. Damn it. Ah, what a pity. What a pity. Where's he running? Maybe we still got enough mantle to make it. I have normally 5 or 60 hours of Steam at Monster Hunter World, and I am now post Shara, Ishvalda, and Runer. There we go. Just in time. Dude. Look at that. Glider Mantle's back. Pretty good. Good. So I'm grabbing him. I'm going to go ahead and re-soften the head. Very important for us, using the shot damage. I think now's a good time to paralyze him. Oh, still not paralyzed. Oh my god, we missed. Do we have paralysis 1? We have paralysis 1, right? No, just paralysis 2. We better not miss any more then. Alright. Guess I could have saved that for after we got the impact mantle back, but I don't actually expect to KO him. Ouch. Oh, you know what? We don't have any way to get our health back. Ooh, is he already going down? Ooh, very good. Why does it keep reflecting? The shots are like not landing. There we go. Try to stay away from this insect glaive guy. Why is he jumping on him? He's already knocked down, dude. Getting a little better at this, recognizing his moves again. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since I fought Velkhana, actually. Kind of sad nobody's using any heals at all. Oh, snap. That was the wrong time for me to put my thing away. He's hurt. Alright, nice. Don't go! Wait! Hate the targeting system in this game, it's so bad. Yeah, we're really not doing the damage that we would do if we had the goddamn scope. I hate the scope, man! I hate it, but it's so necessary to top your damage off. I didn't need to do that. He actually reset the head. Oh, I just expected him to land first for some reason. Look at these frame drops. He's dead. Nice job, everyone. Well, nobody's going to hear me say that. These are all randoms, aren't they? All right. Sweet. If soloing that would be the best thing to do for Elements, Alatreon, I can't solo because I don't have PS Plus. I fight Velcana all the time to relieve stress. It's easy, fun fight for me. I was going to do it solo, but all my friends want to do it together, so I might as well. Shara is just weird, and you can't sleep on her. Sorry, I can't play multiplayer, not solo. Shara is scary. Who will help me with the Alatreon? I will help you with the Alatreon. I will give you 10 helps. World was mine and my friend's first Monster Hunter game. We were all stuck on Nurgan base world for a solid month. Whew, it's a long time to be stuck. That's a long time to be stuck. Warming up for Alatreon, take 2. Is the Loyal Thunder better than the Sophagiva Burst Cannon? No, the Sophagiva Burst Cannon does do more damage. However, you can craft the Loyal Thunder whether or not Sophagiva is available. However, Sophagiva is so easy to obtain the Burst Cannon from Sophagiva, you might as well just go get it. So you might as well pick it up. No Sophy Burst is, I think, I'm a solo, only ever soloed a Master Rank once in GU, and whenever I soloed the high rank once, it was Master Rank Gears. What do you think? Flight with Namiel is fun too? Fight with Namiel is fun too, says Dreggeller. I didn't really like the Arch-Tempered Namiel fight. I've mentioned this before. We were all concerned that the Arch-Tempered monsters were just going to be bullet sponges that can one-shot you, and that's exactly what she was. Oh, I don't really even mind the one-shotting part. It's just kind of like, I don't want it to be the same fight, I guess. I've yet to understand why people find Nurg difficult. It was a breeze. 10 helps, more like 10 helps to fail. That's right. Monster Hunter World is the first time I played Monster Hunter with friends. I'm going to violate this confirm button until I can join. If I'm soloing Alatreon, what do I do for the elemental switch? Base Nurg was hard. Fight Lunastra for warm-up. Not you. I play on PlayStation 4. I play on PlayStation 4. We'll have to play together. Hibana says, Runa Nurg is a cakewalk. Can we see your heavy bowgun build? Yeah, I'll show off the build that we were just using again. So this is the build, and it does have Divine Blessing Secret. Its Divine Blessing Secret has quietly become my favorite skill in the game. You don't have to use it, but it is my favorite. And then we have Recoil Suppressor, Close Range Up, and Shield. You would normally drop a Close Range mod, and you'd put on the Scope mod, because the Scope mod gives you a pretty large damage boost. I don't remember what it is, but it's a really large damage boost. However, playing with the Scope makes me want to commit Fortify too. That's the only problem. Go ahead and join quest. What do we got next? Hymn of the Moon and Sun. Slay Teoster. Ode to Destruction. Oh, hold on. There's a special assignment here. Oh, okay. Let's join this. Sweet. We're going to help Nate. You ready, Nate? Oh, it's awesome. We get to help another player. Runa Nurg is so predictable. What? So I'm pretty sure with Raging Brachydios, a lot of his areas on his body are going to be weak to shot damage. Our biggest problem will probably be dealing with his explosive. Let's see what we got. We could drop... Well, we could actually drop Iron Wall, and we could drop... One other thing. Let's drop this Iron Wall. I want the anti-blast. We're gonna drop 1 level of expert as well. So we're giving some stuff up, but I find it more important to have that anti-blast in this fight because you just walk in this gunk too often. By the way, if you guys want a great place to hang out with people who play a lot of Monster Hunter, I definitely want to recommend that you guys check out the description of the live stream. We have a link to our Discord server. It's a pretty well-known Monster Hunter community. There's a lot in there. There's LFG channels. There's, what's the word I'm looking for? There's an Iceborne news channel. There's, I can't think of the word. There's a channel where we have a lot of useful information. Resource channel, I think that's what we used to call it. Although I think these days it's just stuff that gets pinned in Iceborne news channel. I can't remember what we used to do with that. Anyways, we have a very large community over there in the Discord server. A lot of people who've been in that community for a long time, veterans. So feel free to stop in, say hi to us. And when Alatreon comes out, people will probably be sharing their session IDs in that server. So you'll check out the definitely check out the LFG channels. Kyle says, I didn't even know the Superman dive evade was a mechanic until I looked up a guide to base Nerg back in the day. Lol, that's how much of a noob I used to be. Now I have soloed all the Iceborne and DLC. Nice, man. Mark says, I seriously have no clue why a bunch of non-variants and Xeno aren't in Master Rank. That's literally never happened in my game before. B. Pyatt says, Bracky is easy. Just run when he does triple line erupts. Then you're fine. Bracky's easy, bro. Bracky, he can be challenging. I think that he's definitely a good end game fight for people who want an easy end game fight. But we still don't have anything like Extreme Behemoth, and I'm praying to the Monster Hunter gods that we get something at least as difficult as base game Extreme Behemoth. We need it. We need it so bad. Okay, let's run over here. Oops. What am I doing over here? Actually, I didn't need to do that. Grab this. See if we can get this tail. Bruh! It doesn't even make sense. He wasn't using a move with this tail. Oh my god. Let's go ahead and dust it life. Here we go. He won't attack twice with the tail, right? Alright, the tail is softened. He needs to be thrown into a wall again now. He's gonna get punished for that. Oops. I should probably try to dodge that now. He jumped so far. Nate, no! Can't even see him. Where is he? Oh. Alright, I probably shouldn't mess around with this guy. I should probably heal when I'm half health. So let's get the heal going. Oh, the tail's... Damn it, dude. Your teammates better get it off for them, huh? He looks like he's ready to be thrown into a wall again. Oh man, nobody else is gonna do it. Go ahead and reload this. We're gonna put it away now. Wait, what happened? Did he get knocked over? It looked like he didn't get knocked over. Oh, maybe he was just... Maybe it's just because he's moving between locations right now. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't think he's easy to KO. No, Suryu. I think I would have preferred the temporal mantle. We could have just kept going for the tail, you know. He's like, huh? Where's everyone? Yeah, there you go. Damn it. Oh, come on. One more shot. One more shot. One more shot. Oh, it doesn't matter. Nah, we're not going to get the KO. So maybe next time the mantle's up. I don't think so, mister. Let's grab this slinger bomb. And we'll put the glider mantle back on. Mr. Clean's waving. He's saying goodbye to dirty bath. Oh my god. I thought I was gonna die there. Did we soften it? It looks like we softened it. You know, I feel like Mind's Eye would have actually helped here. He's actually so large that it's like you're gonna miss some of your shots, you know what I mean? He's large enough for you to miss. How'd he get KO'd? Did somebody change weapons? I think they did. I think the sticky ammo came out. Woo! Just enough stamina, huh? There we go. We'll use the opportunity to soften up the tail. We got our pitfall trap ready. Looking for help farming Safi. Safi Poopy? You want help farming Safi Poopies? I have had a really nutty week. My first Safi 1 run. Finished all Iceborne special assignments, including Angry Boys, and just did Extreme Behemoth. Always with KO when the sticky comes out. What? Hey, yesterday the stream was abruptly ended. What happened? How's it going, bro, man? It wasn't over. My internet cut out, and it was down for about 5 minutes. And then the stream continued, but everyone was gone, so I just ended it. You know, not really a point in continuing at that point. Come on over here. Get your booty over here. Come on, Raging Daddy. There's a trap. Lots of easy damage. Lots and lots of easy damage. Ooh, we love easy damage. Who doesn't like the easy damage? Here you go. Come on. Come on. Just a little bit. Lots and lots of free easy damage. Oh my god. I'll go ahead and reload. Raging Bracky Daddy's gonna explode all over me. Where is he? Oh my god, he KO'd like a mile away. I kept going all the way to the end there. Figured it's better. I thought there was a trap there. He like walked right over the trap. That's cheating. You can 4-5 run Safi with heavy bowgun. First time I fought Silver Rat the Low, Savage Joe was there and kept spamming the slam. Easy capture, haha. With the Silver in particular, makes him very easy compared to Volcanic Guide. So it's nice to keep this guy flashed in the beginning because there's no muck on the ground, you know what I mean? God damn, dude. It's gonna run into place, right? Yeah. Alright, this part's really gonna suck for me because my weapon is not very good for this at all. Dude! Nice job. That was me and the other guy. Darn, I shouldn't have reloaded. Don't do it. You're gonna have to be a good boy. You're gonna have to be a good boy now. Excuse me, mister. Are you being a good boy? Really? I do not have any Astera jerky. That's annoying. Oh my god, I'm gonna get killed in this. Still alive. Street rat, still alive. Drinking up my fruity juice. Let's have some glider mantle. How's he not dead? Somebody explain. How is this man not dead? There he goes. Good job. Brrr. Reactor can drop from his head or tail. What? Relic says, is it tomorrow yet? I need my new controller. This one is wore the feck out. Immortal Reactor, they come from Raging Bracky. I don't know 100%, but every time an update comes out, the last monstrous mantle is added to the... Oh, right. Yeah, we should get that done. Can't wait to see everyone who thinks you don't need elemental stuff to fight Alatreon. Well, we'll find out when he comes out. Steel Tiger says, GE, a heavy bowgun that fires all elements is Senejiva for Alatreon pair with true crit. Do you have a theory on how Capcom got away with using so many Jurassic Park samples for the monster roars and sounds? Example. Well, I mean, they all sound the same. It's not a big deal. How do I highlight PP's name? Never again will I wear Rocksteady while fighting this thing. Woo! How's it going, Sora? Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go take a little Princess Tinkle. I'll be right back. And we're back. What? Raging Bracadillos. Immortal Reactors. Sweet. So let's see. Hope I can run him solo. Who are you talking about? Alatreon? No running Alatreon solo is against the rules. Oprah says, shut up about Alatreon already. What? Immortal Reactor Economist? That's right. Did you wash your hands? I always wash my hands. That's right. People who are dirty in the bathroom, you're gross. Let's go over here. And we'll check this guy for the glowing grass. Increase reactor drop rates. How many of these do I have? I have like 3,000. Add me on PS4 if you plan on farming tomorrow. Sweet. And don't forget, our Discord server, again, is a terrific place to LFG for Monster Hunter World. We have it's been around. It's like a 2-year-old community now. It's got a lot of people in it. I think we have 30,000 people who have joined. There's been a content drought and it hasn't been as active as it used to be, but actually it's very active. I would call the community very active. Every day you can go in. There's a lot of people talking. It's a nice place to hang out. So don't forget to go to the description of the YouTube live stream and check that out. Also, I want to do another shout out for Snake's Tube. Thank you so much, Snake's Tube, for that generous donation. So cool, man. Very nice. Every 2 minutes, there's someone asking when he drops. Is that what's going on? Hey, let's run up here. I know this is exactly what you guys want to watch. I'm going to get a Celestial Wyverian print real fast, just because I know I probably don't have a lot saved up. Yep, help the Steamworks. So, while I'm doing this, let's read the news. What's going on in the world? We'll do CNN again. Communist News Network. Let's see. Florida and Texas governors split as coronavirus cases surge. Facebook ad boycott organizers met with the Zuckerberg. It didn't go well. Facebook ad boycott organizers. Dutch police discover secret torture site in shipping container. What the fuck? Trump's niece in damning book. He paid someone to take his SAT. Donald Trump paid somebody to take his SAT test. What? That's not allowed. Here's how cases are trending in your state. Oh my God. How many people got the coronavirus now? Comedian Ricky Smiles' 19-year-old daughter shot multiple times. That's sad. Actually, I read that over 4th of July weekend, like 15 people died in just Chicago. And that was 15 people who died from gunshots. It was 65 wounded, 15 dead. Crazy. Just in Chicago. We're not talking about the other places like Detroit. Massachusetts governor signs bill. Understanding the dress code of Orthodox Jewish women. Who writes an article on that? Fauci says coronavirus is really not good. This coronavirus killing MIT robot could end up in your local supermarket. It looks like a mosquito zapper. Oh my god. Afghan who saved U.S. lives and helped fellow translator escapes danger, becomes a U.S. citizen. Oh, that's cool. I like to hear stuff like that. All right, let's go look up Fox 2 News. Web of Deceit. Chinese... Oh, hold on. Why do they always gotta have this damn pop-up? Chinese theft from the United States among the largest transfers of wealth in human history, says the FBI. Actually, believe it or not, I had to learn about that when I went to college for my computer science degree. So China steals intellectual property from the United States basically all the time. And it's not allowed in the United States, but you can't stop it over there. So what goes on is they actually steal millions and millions of dollars of, like just ideas that were made up in software engineering. And it's really, really bad, actually. They'll like hack computers. They'll hack... it's funny because one of the things specifically we learned about is they target these kind of like businesses that aren't very well protected, which includes like hospitals and schools, and they're just really terribly protected. Oop, hold on.
Thanks for help on a quest one was stuck hard. I need help grinding to Mr. 100 cause I think I need to be a ruiner to get to Alatreon or do I the dev diary was confusing.
Really? So, okay, that's interesting. Well, let me mention something. You guys can actually hire me out to grind with you in a private live stream. Well, it's private where I just play with you. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Anyways, let's see. Right, I was learning in school when I was in college how hackers in places like North Korea, but particularly China, places that are after intellectual properties, they will hack like laboratories and medical facilities just to learn things about people or to like steal data and stuff like that. And it's actually a really big problem because those companies don't really see themselves as targets of hacking. You know, you always think it's going to be like a bank or something like that, Target, Walmart, but actually places like hospitals are big targets. And we have our researchers working on a cure for coronavirus, and guess what? They keep getting hacked. They keep getting hacked. Oh my God. Boy 15 survives 30 hours in Sierra wilderness after gunman killed his dad. Wow. Jesus Christ. I'm just over here eating like a Danish and an energy drink. We got easy lives, guys. Don't forget that. Writers, activists, and others implore liberals to end cancel culture. That's right. Actually, I remember watching an interview with, was it Richard Dawkins? He was on Fox News having an interview about how dangerous it is for liberal colleges to stop free speech. He's like, that's actually authoritarianism, and he says it's the opposite of liberalism. So I remember watching that when I was still in college. Was I still in college? It was a while ago. It was an old interview. I found it odd because Richard Dawkins, I could never imagine him being on something like Fox News, because Fox News obviously is like a conservative news site, and he's not really conservative at all. He's like the opposite of them. What else? The good old news. Oh my God. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Can you use Switch Axe? I know you're salivating for it. What? Who says that? Snakes too? Yeah, let's use some Switch Axe next. Plucy says, "Hey Game Communist, are you one of the virus believers?" I am a huge virus believer. It is definitely not implemented by the government to change the batteries in the birds. Game Communist is right. Yet China is allowed to be part of the World Trade Organization. Any other nation would have been kicked out for stealing intellectual property. Yeah, they're very hardcore about it because this is the thing. It's 2020, right? And when it comes to what's valuable in the world, what is innovation, what creates wealth, what is on the edge, it's always technology. And so they've discovered they can kind of be a pirate of technology, and this is a big deal. There's a lot of money involved, keeping up with whatever engineers are working on and being able to steal that and just kind of bring it over and be like, all right, here it is. Here, let's just sell it over here to our people. So it's a big deal being able to steal that. And that's why that was the front page article, and it was saying that the FBI believes that all of the intellectual property China has stolen over time is the largest transfer of wealth in human history. Sounds like a factual statement. I didn't actually read the article because that's how you read news these days, right? You don't even read the article. Why bother? But it's so funny because there was a whole... See, I had to take a ethics class in my computer science courses, right, when I was getting my degree, and that was a whole thing. We had to learn about not working with China, basically, and learning how to hide your stuff from China. Could you believe that? That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, right, Switch X. Well, you know what? We'll grab Switch X after we load one of these up. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, nothing's posted. Let's see what's over here. We'll help Nathan. Hello, I'm a noob, and I'm in the early stage of Monster Hunter World Hard. I'm using the hammer now, but I heard the bow is the strongest endgame weapon. Is this true? What would you recommend I start using? I recommend using one weapon all the way through. So if you've been using hammer, do not give up on the hammer. Stick with it all the way to the end. I consider bow one of the harder weapons to use, primarily because you have to have a lot of expensive decorations before it starts really kind of becoming powerful. For example, the bow charge plus or whatever it's called, mighty bow. If you don't have the mighty bow decoration, you don't have spread shot, power shot, you can use the bow. It's not going to be as powerful as somebody probably told you it's going to be. You are actually better off using a simple weapon like the hammer, which really doesn't require a lot of decorations. It requires far fewer specific decorations to become powerful. See what I'm saying? Here's the Switch Axe. Let's pop this baby on. We'll put it right there. Yeah, exactly. Doomtooth says it right there. You need a lot to build the bow, and so if you've just started the game, using the hammer's fine. Using the greatsword's pretty good, although greatsword really benefits from the focus decoration. But I feel like that's not too bad because you get the Damascus chest, right? So you do like the greatsword, the hammer. Those are both pretty easy. There's a bunch of easy weapons, but those two in particular, I find them very, very easy. Richard Dookie is a filthy non-believer. There's no Jesus Christ at all. Anyone who believes in anyone who believes in God. Isn't that how he talks? You either haven't read a book or you're, he's gonna say some. He's very condescending, but he's also fun. He's fun. I like listening to his stuff sometimes. J Dog says, "Well, it's always good to at least have some other weapon to back up on." To back up on. He said that. To back up on. You going to back up on it, baby? I would not recommend sticking to one weapon the entire game. No, my donation is gone. Thank you so much, Snakes Tube. That was a big boy donation. I really appreciate it. Holy heck. I'll take my wife out to a nice dinner, okay? You need a lot to build bow. I already read those. Okay. I prefer more normal Toby than his subspecies version. Hammer is my dream, but greatsword and gun lance ain't bad. Oh, he's in quest. I'm sorry. We could have already departed. I'm so stupid. Trump! Hey, ho ho. Donald Trump's gotta go. Oh my God, it is an election year, isn't it? You could just feel it. It's time for that election year. You guys excited to find out what happens? Tune in next time to America. I love hammer, but some monsters are incredibly hard to fight, so I switch it up, maybe greatsword. You love hammer, but you switch it up to greatsword? Sounds like you aren't a true believer. Sounds like you aren't a true believer. What do we got? Hot drink? I very often use charge blade. Hey, TGC, do you believe in God? I believe there could be a God. I don't really believe that if there is a God, he's like the ones in our religions. And I believe that even if one of the religions are correct, let's say one of them is correct, right? That would mean, logically, that all the other religions are fake. Wow, that's pretty strong when you think about that. That means one religion, let's just suppose that one is real. All the other ones are totally made up by dudes who like to wear hats. They like to wear hats. They like to have 40 wives. What a convenience. These guys who always start these religions, they always have like 40 wives. I should start a religion and I should have 40 wives. But no, seriously, like think about it. Even if there is a God and that particular God happened to be, excuse me, that particular God happened to be the one in a particular religion that exists today, that would mean all the other religions are made up by men. And so you can kind of conclude men love to make up religions. And why wouldn't they? Once you make up a religion, you get to have like 20 wives and you got a bunch of power and people like basically they worship you a little bit as like a prophet, right? So you get a little bit of worship. Who doesn't want to be worshipped as a prophet? Right, that's pretty cool. So you get worshipped a little bit. It's like a little side worshiping. People donate a bunch of money to you. I mean, I get donations, right? I get donations as a YouTuber. Imagine if I could say like, oh my God, God says you should donate to me. I would get like double the donations. I would get so much donations. There's a lot of money involved in it, you know what I mean? So if your question is, do I believe that the world was made by like a conscious being? Yes, possible, I suppose. You know, it would be nice if he could just kind of pop out and be like, here I am. I'm the Jewish God, you know, something like that. No more fighting. It's me. I showed myself over and over and over again in the Bible, but then conveniently disappeared when cameras were made, you know what I mean? But here I am. I'm real. And then all the holy wars can end and all the conflict in Israel could go away. It would be so easy, you know what I mean? It'd be like crazy easy if he did that. Of course, he never does that because we actually have recording devices now. And people just believe something they've been told from a long time ago in a Bible where they're like, see that little piece of skin on the end of your dick? God says you gotta cut that off. You know, it's just weird, you know? It's really weird. So, the world could have been made by some conscious being, but we don't know that. And so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to wear the hats. I don't want to wear their crazy hats. And I don't want to be told, you know, what to do with my wiener. Religions are so good at telling you what to do with your wiener. They're always, all the religions are like hyper obsessed with what you do with your genitals. They're all really obsessed. And it's just weird, man. It's really weird. And, you know, if there was no God, let's say there was no God in the universe, you're just going to die and turn to dust and all that shit. Maybe that's the truth, but it would be really depressing if that was the truth, so people don't want to hear it, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, well, hopefully something happens. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have, like, time travel and you can go back in time and live again. But the thing is, you can't just assume that there's a God and then, oh, why are you assuming there's a God? Well, because I believe that there's a God. What does that mean? You could believe that Santa Claus is real. Do you believe that? Somebody in here is going to be like, yeah, Santa Claus is real. Anyways, now I'm going to tip my fedora, and I'm going to say, thank you, milady, and I'm going to cling to my physics book, and you can take a big cringy meme picture of me. But no, seriously, religions, my wife and I, we were watching this Rick Steves tour of Europe, and he was doing one on Israel. And you see like the Palestinians and the Muslims and the Israelites, the Jews. There's like 20 different Jews, I guess. They're all wearing like weird things on their head. It's not just the little hat. They got like this little block that they wear on their head. I'm looking at this shit and I'm going, how can you guys stand face to face to each other and not believe that humans just make this shit up? Of course they make it up. That's why there's like 5 of them. That's why there's so many religions. It's just made up. Somebody made up, and you're all saying that you've got it right and the other guy's got it wrong. And then if you're pressed on like evidence, you just don't have evidence. Everyone just says you got to have faith, bro. It's like if I told you, you know, it's like if I told you that the Chinese government, they don't steal any intellectual properties. And then you're like, well, how do you know? And I say, you just got to have faith. Nobody would accept that for anything. But then you come over to religion, and everyone instantly accepts it. Yeah, you just gotta have faith, bro. What are you doing with my money? Nothing bad. Oh, okay. Circumcision equals genital mutilation. Oprah says, I just blanked out for a second, came back to TGC talking about dicks. Being cut was supposed to get rid of the pleasure of beating your meat to hentai? What? Tristan says, I get everyone has their own beliefs, but I can't stand it when people blame blatant homophobia on religion. Snakes Tube says, what made marriage worth it to you? It's a weird thing, actually. So if you want my opinion on marriage, I have like mixed feelings, believe it or not. I think that the whole MGTOW movement actually does have some legitimacy. I think when you look at marriage in the past, it was this thing that you couldn't get out of. The man owned the wife, which sounds barbaric and terrible. But in a way, having something that's yours also means now you're responsible for it. Now marriage is kind of like, it's not that. Your wife is not yours. She can end the relationship instantly. So what really is marriage in 2020? Well, it's just this piece of paper, and if she wants out, it's over. If you want out, it's over. Who cares what happens to the kids, right? And then what you see with marriage is it just kind of dissolves. So a great question for you guys is, what even is the institution of marriage anymore? Is it just a word? Is it just a party? So it's kind of this institution that became outdated and disappeared. So why am I married? Because of dual filing taxes is probably the correct answer to your question. Dual file taxes. It's a sad thing. I don't think marriage has any meaning anymore. Some people, maybe like really religious people still believe that marriage is like this binding between man and wife, but that's if you have faith that there's some magical guy in the sky and he's your guy and he says no breaking up. You know what I mean? It's all whole. I think a lot of people in Western societies have just gotten really educated. You got the internet, you're young, you're smart, you're too smart, and now you've figured religion out a little bit. It used to be just the wealthy and the powerful had figured out religion. Like the kings, they're like, yeah, I'm the king. Why? Because God told you. That's why. You know what I mean? It used to just be like the rich and the powerful, and now everyone's a little bit more rich, a little more powerful, a little more educated. And you used to get married and you couldn't break up. Why? Because Jesus said you couldn't break up, right? It says so right here in the Bible, here, here, and here, right? And now people are like, fuck the Bible, right? Or whatever it is you read. And what's your point for being married now? Tax breaks, I guess. Somebody you're sure you're not going to break up with, and then you go in for the tax breaks. Otherwise, marriage is to me, it's dead. I don't see it doesn't seem like it's almost like, it's like this meaningless thing almost at this point, because it doesn't. If she can leave in a moment and you can leave in a moment, what even is it? It's just a piece of paper that divides your shit in half. That's what it does. So that when you inevitably break up, you lose half your shit. That's what it is. And that benefits one of you. Lucky for my wife and I, we're both hard workers, so I mean we could split the stuff and nobody would care. But for some people, you would really lose a lot. Could you elaborate on dual filing taxes for us who don't know? Oh, yeah, sure. And thank you so much, by the way, Snakes Tube, for all the donations. So, dual filing taxes is not very complicated at all. Basically, the government gives you a tax break for being married. And that's it. The government gives you a tax break for being married. So, you get married to someone, and now you pay less taxes. So, so like, of course you're going to get married. And there was a reason for that. The reason governments gave you a tax break is because they wanted you to get married, because guess what? Families are the fundamental unit to a society. When you get rid of families, you don't have a society. It's over. It's almost like the family is itself a contained government. You have a mom and a dad. They're in power. They tell you what to do. They help you. They make decisions for you, welfare, all this stuff, right? They provide a house. You grow up. They help you, and then you go out into the world and you take care of mom and dad when they're old. That's almost like a self-contained unit of government. And when you don't have a family anymore, you don't have a society anymore. You have this weird thing. You need at least one man and at least one woman to make babies. You need that. So this is why a lot of religions defined marriage that way, as a union between men and women, because you had to have those to create children. And if you're not creating children, your religion's going to fall apart, your government's going to fall apart, your society's going to fall apart. So you have to have families. It's not really an option unless you don't really care if the human race keeps going. You know what I mean? People have lived in very peaceful times for the last, whatever you want to say, 50, 60, 80 years. It was just 80 years ago the world was at war and killing itself. People forget that. And it's like, how do we achieve all of this peace and wealth and prosperity? You got to have a family. You got to have some basic values, right? Some good ones. And you got to make smart moves with your money. And with marriage basically becoming irrelevant, I don't really see how that's going to continue too much. I don't really know what's going to happen. Owen says he's a hard. I'm playing these games so hard. I'm breaking a sweat right now, I think. Holy cow. I mean, you don't even know how tired my hands get from all the playing I do. Come on, man. Oh, you should have seen how much I did to get to this point in life, though, if you want to talk for real. I really, really, really scraped from the bottom. Anyways, I had this past same situation when I joined the quest, tried to reach a monster, got slayed. I see marriage as agreeing to be a team together, me as a wife as a role. Yeah, you can, but this is the thing, Reckless Maniac. You can agree to be a team without doing the marriage license. You could do it right now. I mean, you could look at your girlfriend and say, we're married. And if she said, yeah, we're married, then you're married. The government just hands you a piece of paper and says, now there's legal definitions to marriage. What's the legal definition? She has to get a lawyer to divorce you and some paper has to be signed. That's it. It's just a few papers. You just sign. What does it even mean then? You know, what is a marriage? It's nothing. It's basically nothing if that's all it is. And that's the problem with introducing a few things to your society. Divorce, abortion, and probably even birth control. All those things radically change what it means to be male and female, radically changes what it means to be in a relationship. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it definitely radically changes it. Things changed very quickly when abortion and birth control became a thing, and we redefined marriage. And you know, I'm not saying that the world's doomed or anything. I don't know what's going to happen. I think you're going to see dramatic changes over time. We need the TheGameconomist. Marriage is too scary for me. I have too much to lose. Well, you could write a prenup. We didn't do that when my wife and I got married. I guess it's kind of a sad thing to work on, isn't it? Because it's like saying I don't trust us to stay together. But I think as time goes by, people will understand prenups more and more. But yeah, I would say if you've got a lot to lose and she doesn't, you got to have a prenup. You got to have a prenup, man. Why would anyone think of ending the human race? Oh, people talk about that garbage all the time. It's the, Chicken Little types, people who are like, the world is ending, and the only way to stop it is to stop having babies. You get those types all the time. And people who are, they hate the human race. Usually it's because they hate themselves. That's the truth. They hate themselves, so they're like, I can't wait for the human race to end. People like that. They usually hate themselves, and there's usually some reason, like they're not as good looking as they'd like to be or whatever. They're not successful at anything in life. So they hate themselves, and they can't wait for the human race to go away. Now, I always think, do us all a favor and let it just be you, because I like existing, and I want my kids to exist, and all of that stuff. You hate yourself so much. I can't wait for the human race to go away. Dude, you're crazy. Not in the cool, funny way either, in the lame way. Crazy in the lame way. I can't wait for it. Humans shouldn't exist. We don't deserve to exist. Jesus Christ, dude. Cringe. That's how I always feel when I hear that garbage. We don't deserve to exist. It's like, okay. It's like they think that nature is God almost. It's like a different... I guess that's what you would think of an environmentalist almost. But no, really, plenty of environmentalists are just realists, But then some of them are kind of like idealists, and they get real weird. As a member of Gen Z, I say we collectively stop having babies and end the human race. It's all right. Well, you can do that. People who want to end the human race are low-energy, small pp betas. But that's exactly it, isn't it? It's such a weird thing, because I feel like it was something that was poorly defined in the past, but we know what it is now. It's these people who they hate themselves so much. They'd be happy if the human race ended. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Go talk to a therapist. You obviously need it. I don't understand people like that at all. People who hate living. It's like, alright. Maybe they just need a hug or something. But I think that also they feel like they're super clever for saying things like that. And newsflash, it's not that clever anymore. Back in the 90s, that might have been a clever thing to say. It's 2020. You gotta have better writing nowadays. There's too much content, too much entertainment. You gotta say something cleverer than, I can't wait for the humans to end. Do something refreshing, like, I want to see the human race survive and be awesome. Do something different you just get tired of all the dreariness. To be fair, he said to be fair. Humans are dumb in some things. I already am trash, but there are great people too. check donations, please? Oh, are donations muted? Hold on, let me go see. Give me a second. Oh, Streamlabs feels kind of like it's frozen. Hold on. Hold on, I'm going over to Streamlabs right now. Ooh, I gotta warn you guys, if there's lag in the stream, it's because there's something wrong with Streamlabs right now. It's taking a long time. It might cause my computer to crash a little. How? Hold on, give me a minute. I'm jumping over to the analytics. Oh, there was a little donation made. No, wait a second. I don't see anything unusual. Hold on, let me take this Nullberry off. Let me take this Thunderblight off. How did you get over someone that you really love? Oh, that's a tough question. How do you get over somebody that you really love? That one's really hard. Maybe you're not meant to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's a way to get over somebody that you really loved. I'm not even sure if it's the right thing to get over them. You know what I mean? Like if you lost something, probably the best thing to do is to grieve. You know what I mean? Including if it's like some girl you really liked and she left you because of whatever. It wasn't working. But all I can think is maybe you should actually grieve and just realize that you lost it, and that's the end of it. Because you know that's the reality of life. Life is that a lot of things are going to give you grief, and that's the end of it. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's, you know, if you're looking at life in a very realistic way, you're going to lose your mom, you're going to lose your dad, you're going to lose, one day you're going to lose your partner if you don't die first. So the correct thing to do might be to just grieve, and after you've grieved for a while, you eventually move on. That's it. But you can't move on if you don't grieve, you know what I mean? So if you don't grieve, it's because you're repressing the feelings. Ice cream and crying, that's right. Cromag says there was also a super chat. Hold on. So are you talking about the one from Pilik? Thank you so much, Pilik. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I appreciate the donation, man. For the Alatreon fight, what if two players run raw weapons staying consistent and the other two run elemental, and when Alatreon switches element? No idea. We will definitely find out when he comes out. Some strategies will be made. Are you going to fight Alatreon on Xbox first? Yes, definitely I will be. Pow Pow Skur Skur says, love reacts the same way as addiction in your body. Taking small doses, reminding yourself will keep you addicted. I mean, you know, maybe if you gave more details about, you know, getting over somebody, maybe I could give better advice. But he used a very specific, he used a very non-specific word. Just, you know, just, somebody you love. You know, it's a very general thing. So. Makes sense for the old world, but new world, the forest and volcano are literally on different sides of the continent. What? What do you even know about the recess? What? Bree! I hate this guy, not Alatreon, Kushala. Kushala is the worst monster. Oh my god. Nice job. I mean, we all gonna raw Alatreon, right? I don't know. Just use the immovable Dharma without free element. The monster hasn't even come out yet, says Wellix. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's trying to figure out how they're going to fight him, but he hasn't arrived. I think a lot of hunters hate Kushala Daora. He really is such a terrible fight. He's not fun. Like, that's a big problem. It's one thing if your fight is difficult, but if your fight's not fun, that's not good at all either. I really ought to have this on. Dude, we're wasting so much time. Jesus. Jesus! Alright. Jesus Christ, dude. How did he still threw me off? Oh my god, this fight's so stupid. Yeah, fire the claw. Jesus. Don't you hate it? You'll like tell your thing to fire the claw, but it just doesn't do it. Oh, so you can't claw onto him when he's got the wind. That's how little I fight this guy. Jesus! Kushala tornadoes used to disappear in a few seconds, and his wind aura used to be smaller. I have no idea why they thought changing him was a good idea. Because they want to make me angry. They're trying to get my blood pressure up. It was nice chilling, but I got to get my attack 4 now. What? You can't just have attack 4. Think it's that easy? Who do you think would win, Safi'jiiva or Alatreon? Safi'jiiva would win just because Alatreon would get bored and give up. Might well do. I thought imagining the effect is reduced compared to others. Oh my god, stop moving your goddamn tail so much. Whenever I feed my cat barbecue Vienna sausages, she gets Kushala tornadoes and it makes me super sad. What? Fun fact, who to people who don't know, Kushala element is ice. And he's dead. Alright. Wow, that felt terrible. Yeah, that's why I said Alatreon will lose because he'll give up because he's bored of fighting Safi Poopy. Oh, is there another fight? I guess there's another fight. Let's sharpen up. Take this off. Why switch acts today? Why not? I actually like fighting Kushala. I would even say he is one of my favorites. I'm not like the other girls. Kushala got the dank Kush. I got 3 elemental charge blades. Switch X is king. James needs an intervention. Oh, there's 3 monsters. A Daora gem. I'm rich. Man, it was a long fight. Hey, mister, my super chat got skipped. Did it really? My super chat got skipped. Which one? Oh, how is the woman able to abort a baby, but they can put us on child support? Right, so that was a thing that comedian was talking about. I don't remember. Chappelle? There we go. Dave Chappelle was talking about that one. How is it that, you know, women are allowed to have abortions, but men aren't allowed to... Hold on. Am I going to die here? No, I'm alive. But men aren't allowed to basically abandon the baby. So women can kill the baby, but men can't abandon it. And he says that's a problem. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a complicated thing. Because there's multiple solutions to it. Allow men to abandon their children, or stop women from having abortions. Those are the two different solutions, or leave it the same, leave it the way it is right now. But those are the two different solutions, and I don't know what to think of it. I actually think one of the biggest problems in society, my personal opinion, one of the number one biggest problems in society is fathers abandoning their children. I don't think there's really anything worse you can do as a family than to abandon your own kids as a man. I think that even if the mom abandoned her kids, it would not be as bad as if the father abandoned his kids. You see what I'm saying? I think the father actually plays a bigger role than the mother. And I think that simply telling men that women have a right to abort and you have a right to abandon, it doesn't really solve anything. All it does is it sounds like a convenient excuse to get rid of, fathers having to support their children. See what I'm saying? Ooh. Holy FBI, open up. So we do this kind of stuff all the time. We like to take the issue of abortion and we like to manipulate the other side's argument in a way that's favorable for us. Let me give you a perfect example. So with the COVID-19, everyone's having their debates over whether or not you should have to wear a face mask in America. You get a lot of conservatives who are against this. And so I've seen both pro-lifers and conservatives go, oh, you believe in my body, my choice, but I'm not allowed to choose to wear a mask? And he's like, hypocrisy. And then you will get pro-choicers who do the exact same argument somehow. It's really actually kind of interesting. And they say, oh, you don't want to wear masks, but you don't believe in my body, my choice. So you see, people take the abortion argument and they use concepts from the abortion argument, and they use that to support their argument for something that they would like. And so if Dave Chappelle believes that men shouldn't have to pay child support on children that they, had sex with the woman to help make, I don't know if I support that. It just sounds very clever. That's all I can say. Like, in the end, you fricked that the woman, right? You're running around having sex with multiple partners probably. The child exists now, and you want all these other guys to pay for the child. So if you guys think, as a man, looking out for yourself as a guy, if you think it's real clever what Dave Chappelle thinks, think about what Dave Chappelle's solution to the situation is. He shouldn't have to pay for his kids that he made with the woman. You'll pay for it, because somebody pays for it, right? Unless you were to end the welfare state for women, right? Unless you were to tell single moms they can't receive welfare for the children anymore. So basically, if you agree with Dave Chappelle's position on this, you're basically agreeing, all right, well, I guess society, me, is going to pay for all these babies, which is really not your job to pay for those babies. Your job to pay for your own kids. And if every man did this well, then mostly you wouldn't need welfare. There would be fewer single families. So, it's a complicated thing, isn't it? And it's a great soundbite. His jokes probably resonates with people who don't want to have to raise their own kids. But I can't say that that's necessarily good for society for men to not. Actually, again, back to my opinion, I actually think that's one of the biggest problems for society is when men won't raise their own kids. It's actually a sign of huge weakness in men, in my opinion. The men should be so interested in raising their own kids that they should basically take the kids from the women and raise them themselves. That's the way I see it. COVID isn't real, man. It's just a government illusion. Hits blunt. You gonna be on the Joe Rogan show? It's blunt. To me, it depends on abortion takes place if it's done the same day. All right, so we're just talking about abortion, or you're just talking about abortion at this point. But see, that's the thing. Dave Chappelle's joke really isn't about abortion. He's not saying that abortion should be illegal. What he's trying to say is, if you can do what you want, I should get to do what I want. I shouldn't have to support my children. And I personally see this as actually a very large problem. I think that men definitely should have to support their children. Paul's like, don't talk about this. Usually people say that when they don't agree. Don't make me unsubscribe, mister. I hope Alatreon doesn't have those plesial tip boxes. There is a way to get out of it. It's called wearing a condom. I know, right? Woo. TGC Chase's super chat also got skipped. Chase? I missed one by Chase? Where? Snake's Tube. Snake's Tube. I do not see one by Chase at all, actually. Oh, you mean Is it Enik? Enik, thank you so much for the donation. Alright, let's head back here. You guys should see my kitty. She's sleeping. She's sleeping right next to me because she can't handle not being nearby. Kitty, what are you doing? Condoms only work 70%, 75% of the time. They're guaranteed to work every time. Brian says, how's it going, GCE? How's it going, man? Puerto Rican pullout? Oh, my God. HA says, I don't get why people don't like using condoms. Let's go ahead and go over here. Sounds like its own conversation. Why don't you guys like using condoms? Alright, let's see what we got. Fighting an elder dragon while talking about abortion. That is one of the bucket list. Kitty cam. That's right, we need kitty cam. Where'd that camera go? Under the Veil of Death. The Second Coming. Wink. Snake says the solution would be to have the money put up for the kids, not to give a woman money. She can spend whatever the way she wants. That's an interesting problem though, because the child's in her care. I actually suggested this and people hated it. So I was in the politics channel and I suggested that in 100% of the cases of a man and a woman breaking up, except for where the man's found like criminal or incompetent, I figure that in all cases, the child should actually go to the man. And generally, the child actually goes to the mother. And I think that the problem with that is now the mom's strapped down with the child, and the father goes out, because men want more sex than women, that's just a fact. The man's going to go back out and have sex with another woman. So it's like, how do you stop these guys who just go around trying to get as much sex as they can, and they don't really take responsibility for their children? You strap them down with their own children, because that's how it's meant to be. They're not supposed to be able to go out on a hot date with the girl because you're out raising the kid. But that doesn't actually happen. Your ex raises the kid while you're out. And I think that that's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so, you know, if you were raising the kid yourself as the man, as it should be, then I guess it wouldn't be an issue of the mother handling the money. It would be just you handling the money, wouldn't it? So you take the children and then that problem doesn't exist. Collect harvest. You know, it's weird. It's a strange thing because when we talk about the issue of people getting divorced and then the children go to one of the parents, I feel like there's this weird cultural thing where it's assumed most of the time the children are going to go to the mom. And where did this idea come from? You know, where did that concept come from? The children just automatically goes to the mom. And I think that that's been changing a lot lately. But I feel like actually it should be a harder thing for the father than for the mother. And I think that often the mother will probably, well, I don't know. It's a complicated thing, isn't it? It's a shared responsibility, and people want things to be as fair as possible. But I think sometimes we create rules and laws that what they do is they promote social, I guess you could say, social growth and stability and maybe that idea of progress, right? And I feel that, again, from my point of view, one of the biggest problems in society is actually men not being fathers, men not wanting to be fathers, not wanting to be married, not wanting to play the role of a man. I think most guys in today's society would be they're much more interested in just almost like being boys. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just a boy. I have sex with girls I'm dating, and then I play my video games, which I can totally relate to that. I play a lot of video games, but I also believe that you have to be having, at some point, you have to have children and grow up and be a, you know, you have to be a soldier for your country, you have to be a businessman, you have to be a teacher, you have to be one of those things, and especially you have to be a dad. And I fear that the country will actually, see if women can do, I feel like women can do what they want for the most part. It doesn't really, I don't think that women actually change society too dramatically. I think it's society's men that change society faster than anything else. They often do the most really ridiculous jobs. A lot more men are engineers than women. The electrical companies, the nuclear facility companies, the oil companies, those are run by men. The militaries are run by men. And when it comes to raising a family, the person who is typically more, what's the word? I suppose domineering maybe might be the word. Both mother and father are very important in their roles in the family. I really strongly believe that. But when it comes to kind of like taking a lead, I feel like that's still a man's job. And it's just because it's in the nature of the man to be emotionally strong and to be emotionally very stable and logical. And you just don't see that because men just want to be boys. They just want to be boys. Life is very easy. We live in a time of prosperity. And it's like, why be a man and make sacrifices for your children and for your family and for your ancestors and for your country? Why make sacrifices when you can just be kind of like a, frick boy drinking your Starbucks and playing your video games or being whatever it is in Japan, like Hakikimori, where you don't ever leave your room at all. You're just a hermit. And it's like, well, what you're really talking about is the fundamental breakdown of society. And the reason this is a big deal is because the very people that are most, perhaps not playing the role that they need to be playing, giving up on their responsibilities toward their community and society, the reason that's such a big problem is because they're the ones benefiting from the strong men who made the society. So you're here maybe being a Hakikimori, but you're not appreciating the fact that the men before you created the peaceful world that allowed you to live in your room. And so there's perhaps just this sort of minimal amount of things you need to be doing in order to keep society running smoothly, in order to maintain this peaceful society that your ancestors before you created. And if you don't do that, it's going to decay. It's going to decay, it's going to diminish, your economy's going to fall, you're going to realize how important the economy is, you took it for granted. It's kind of like, you take girls for granted, right? Well, imagine taking society for granted. You just can't do that. It's far worse than a breakup when you take your society and your peaceful lifestyle and your prosperity. When you take that for granted, it's far worse than taking your girlfriend for granted, because when those things go away, peaceful society collapses, investors leave. People really don't understand that, how bad it is when investors leave. When investors start to leave and go somewhere else, and the jobs and the prosperity go with them, and the job opportunities go with them, and the wealth and the taxpayers go with them, and your society starts to recede, and the welfare system can't afford for you the things that you wish it could afford, you start to realize how fundamentally important it is that men play a proper role in society as leaders, as people who will businesses into existence, and especially as fathers. But we just don't treat things like that, do we? We don't really. You got Dave Chappelle trying to cast this argument on why men shouldn't have to raise their children. And yeah, it's a great soundbite, and it's very clever, and it's kind of like a, girls versus boys style of argument. Anything you can do, I can do better, except you want my money, and blah, 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 right? It's in the alignment of one of those arguments, but it's like, let's get serious. Let's be realists for a second and not just a comedian. What does society really need in order to be powerful and strong and prosperous and wealthy and offer the jobs and offer the security? It needs great fathers. And nobody wants to be a dad these days. And it's not that everyone doesn't want to be a dad, but even those who say, I will be a dad, they kind of just half-heartedly milk toast, lukewarm about it. Maybe they don't try too hard. It's tough, I guess. But you've got porn now, you got abortion, you got birth control, you got your left hand, you got your right hand, you got a toy that'll suck your dick. You got all the things now, and it's what do you think? What do you guys think society's going to be like 20 years from now, 50 years from now? Remember, humans only live for like 100 years. So it's like you're going to have one generation, 75 years if you want to go off of the average, but you're going to have one generation that's going to pass, and the face of humanity is going to change in one move, one lifetime. And we take that for granted because we only live long enough to see a certain amount of history, and then we take for granted everything that was built before us. And I'm saying, what is it going to look like 2 generations from now? Is it going to be an improvement? Or is it going to actually be worse than it was? And I'm looking at it because I love to make predictions. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I'm saying, this looks like it's going to be worse than it was. That's what I'm looking at it going, this isn't going to end well. There's no way this ends well. And I don't know. I almost feel like we need a 20th century sort of religion or success or something like that for young men to talk about and think about, that you're not learning in school, you're not learning it from your dad, you're not learning it from anyone, I guess. And you've got guys like Bernie Sanders telling you to be a big small PP beta male. Oh, you just need all the rich people's money and that'll solve all your problems in life. I don't know what to say. Like, how do you help guys become more like men at this point in 2020 when it's so easy to be like a good little consumer, feminist, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is we have now. You should play Sword and Shield. We Sword and Shield mains are oppressed. Would you like to live in a world like Monster Hunter? Heck yeah, man. Then I could get paid for really fighting monsters. Oh, we got monsters in the real world now, guys. Just because Monster Hunter is a fantasy game where you have to develop a skill that saves the world from all the monsters. But that's really how the real world still works. The real world monsters are things like COVID-19. And you and I are living in very comfortable air-conditioned, many of us, not all of us, but we're living in very comfortable air-conditioned homes. And there's brilliant scientists who actually matter to society, and they're outside working on solutions for COVID-19. And those guys are basically the hunters in Monster Hunter. That's just something for you to think about when you decide what you're going to do with your life. You need to actually do something that is difficult and provides a service to the market that is badly needed. So that's what Bernie Sanders needs to be telling you is it's all about doing something for the market that's badly needed, succeeding, prospering, leaving the prosperity for your children. He doesn't talk that way. Not Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders talks in the form of a grievance. He just tells you how unfair everything is and how terrible it is, despite the fact that you live in the best times any human has ever lived in. And he's so determined on radically changing the circumstances that led to this incredible quality of life. He's like, no, this all has to be changed so that we can be like Europe, even though Europe doesn't have Apple, Europe doesn't have Google, Europe doesn't have Facebook, Twitter, doesn't have every single one of these amazing technology companies that we have, and they all come here to the United States to open up. Why would they move to Europe and pay literally double taxes? Why would they do that? And then you look at economic growth in Europe, and it's just completely stalled, and they're trying to figure out how do we do it. Germany's trying this thing with negative interest rates at the bank where you get punished for not taking out a loan. It's insane because they're trying everything they can to increase their economy, and they just can't figure out how do we do this. It's simple. Lower taxes on your people so that the business people can make a decision on where they're going to open their business. I was looking at Scotland just the other day. I'm like, man, I want to move to Scotland. It's so cool. I like the cold temperature. I like the accent. I like the people. I like the culture. And then I saw the tax rate and I said, oh, I'm staying right here in America. If I'm going to get wealthy, it's going to be right here. I'm not going to be poor in Scotland. I'm going to be wealthy in America. Because it still happens over here. And people are so cynical about America, but you can still get wealthy over here, you know? Because, well, just for now, but that'll change when we become another socialist utopia like all these places in Europe that are apparently so good, but you're just not, you've got more poor over here, sure, but you've got more wealthy over here too, is my point. You get all these guys, they're so convinced. Oh man, I shouldn't challenge myself. I shouldn't put myself into danger. I shouldn't take risks. I shouldn't open businesses. I should instead be a good little consumer sitting in my bedroom, jerking off into my cell phone that, a real man went out and made, and just sit here and play Monster Hunter and not really move on with life. And oh my gosh, why am I not wealthy like the wealthy people? And maybe if we tax them enough, then I'll be wealthy and they'll just stay here and let me tax them. It's like, it really doesn't work that way, man. Did you guys saw that drunk lady was bashing on the door and then turn into an I Am Legend meme? Hey, TGC, have you ever thought of having kids? Yes, my wife and I want to have kids. We're actually very close to that point in life. Just lower taxes. What a great take. Well, and I don't believe in having no taxes. It's a question of having a competitive tax rate. That is what I believe it's all about. In Europe and in America and in China and Australia, Russia, you've got Central Europe. All these places exist. And there's smart, clever, driven people who know how to move around. You know how to move, When you're a driven person, the idea of applying to get to another country does not faze you. And you're ready to start your business, or maybe you already have a business and you're ready to, go a little deeper, but you want to decide, where am I going to live the rest of my life? Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And you're picking places to move to. And people vote with their feet. It's not a mistake that there's so many people in the United States. A lot of people moved into the United States because there's opportunity here. There's low taxes here to start your business, right? So a lot of business people moved here. A lot of smart, driven people moved here. And then you can't figure out, why is Europe stagnating? I love Europe. I love the culture. I love the holidays you guys have. I like the people. I like the land. It's awesome. I would move there. But it's like you guys just want to have the highest taxes ever. So it's uncompetitive. Europe's uncompetitive. So all these really grand places with crazy histories of conquest and war, and now they're just like tourist places. Most of your money comes from other people from other countries flying over to pay some tourism money. You see what I'm saying? That's the stagnation itself right there. And any country could do this if they just raised their taxes high enough. If you want to complain about lowering taxes, well, how high should the taxes be? Why not just raise them to 99%? If raising taxes is always a good thing, why not just raise it to 100%? Well, obviously that'd be stupid, just like raising it to 0. So it's a question of how much taxes is the right amount. And the answer is, you have to lower your taxes low enough that you're competitive and you draw business people in. Because if you don't do that, the business people are smart. That's the whole reason you get businessmen who become millionaires and they rise to the top. These are the smartest people in the world. They're looking at the tax rate. They care about it. They care about it. But then you get guys like Bernie Sanders and they tell you, oh, woe is you. You're not as rich as them. And, oh, if we just raise taxes, that'll fix it. It just won't. Stone Folk says, you're so misinformed, it's unreal. Actually, I would describe myself as hyper-informed. I'm somebody who just reads about this all the time. You probably just disagree. We might have different philosophies. Are you excited for Alatreon? Heck yeah. Was wealthy before World War II. What? Maybe eventually... What? Oh, I missed it. Let's run over here. 2020, the short year. All right, here, let me go ahead and eat. I stopped talking for a second. Now I'm just waiting for your comments. Can't wait to fight the blazing black dragon. Everything is free, but you get taxed 100% and then apply for the government to get something. All right, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark, so this will probably be the last one. You should talk about what countries do with the taxes compared to America. Well, yeah, what they do is they spend it on healthcare and they spend it on education, and I don't actually agree with that. I think that people should be taxed less, and they should make their own decision on how they save up for healthcare and how much education that they need. Because what happens is when the government makes those decisions for you rather than the free market, there's a huge inefficiency that's caused by central government that isn't able to adapt to changing technologies. So, for example, if you have something like YouTube that arises that makes basically just about every college subject free right on YouTube, schools are not able to, not schools, but governments are not able to adapt to that. All the governments know how to do is spend your money. And then your government's running, a negative balance, and people are getting educated in something like dance theater, things that won't actually have a return on the investment, and people clap their hands and say this is progress, but it's not actual progress. In the meantime, all your business people are leaving to other countries. Hypothetically speaking, you have a kid and you find out your wife cheats on you whenever you stream. God forbid. Now you guys break up and you have to pay child support. You're fine with that? I am. Because it would be my kid, right? You have to find a whole other wife. Taxes are highest in some of the best quality of lives country. Why? So Stone Folk, who tells you that those countries are the best countries to live in? You know what I mean? You are told that they're the best countries to live in, and when I actually do research on those kind of things, it turns out those people in the country, those the people in those countries aren't necessarily living better lives than we live here in America. We have poor people in America, and poor people in America, if you were to just give them a bunch of money, they might claim that their lives are better too. But there's also significantly wealthier people in America. You see, when you compare them, let me put it this way. So people in the Nordic countries, you see fewer poor people, but you see fewer wealthy people as well. And I don't actually view that as a good thing, because what happens is powerful countries, not some side country that has barely any military, barely any world influence, barely making any of the gigantic technological advances that, you know, the actual important countries like America and China and maybe the UK, maybe Germany are making. Those countries, people claim, oh, they're utopian paradises, but actually they're just a very small, homogenous island, typically island countries with a population of fewer poor people than America, but also significantly fewer rich people than America. And then people like Bernie Sanders use those countries as an example of why we should radically change our country's tax system. And it's not a good example. It's a terrible example, actually. You know what I mean? Rip Sword and Shield gameplay. Ah! We have fat poor people where whole countries elsewhere starve. Well, and he's not talking about those countries. He's talking about, you know, like Sweden, Finland, what's the other one? Norway. Beautiful countries, really they are. But if you want to have class mobility, if you want to move from the lower class to the upper class, would you move to Norway to do it, or would you move to the United States to do it? And the truth is, you would have a better chance breaking into the upper class in America than you would in a place like Norway. You would not have a very good chance of doing that, because the tax rate is so high that it stops you from being able to become wealthy and own a mansion and have a legacy and leave some sort of meaningful inheritance to your children. And, you know, the liberals clap and say, yay, that's progress. And I don't think that's progress at all. And then you look at who actually changes the world. It's actually not Norway, Sweden, and Finland. They're great countries. Again, I think that they're very beautiful. They have a lot of great tourism. But we're talking about the countries that actually could change the world with their militaries and with their technological advancements and with their... I mean, I'm pretty sure even, like, half the states in America probably have a larger economy than just like Sweden or whatever. There's probably a whole list of United States states that have a larger economy than just the entire country of Sweden. And people like to make this comparison like it's a fair comparison. Like, okay, let's take Sweden, socialist utopia, Scandinavian country, and let's just tie its border to Mexico, because there's a lot of homeless immigration, economic immigration from El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico itself, and all these other Latino countries. And the Democrats in America are saying, oh yeah, welfare, it's so great, it's going to work really well here. Well, take a place that they're trying to model America after, Sweden. We should be like Sweden, and actually sew Sweden onto that border and see what happens when they have a very strong welfare state and you're very democratic and open to immigration. They would simply be overwhelmed. They couldn't afford that. So when people make those comparisons between this small island of homogenous people, all the same people, and they're not seeing the same growth that America's seeing. They're not seeing the same innovation. You don't have the same number of wealthy people. You talk about how good the quality of life in a place like, Finland is. But if you look at the way the wealthy can live in America, it's not even close. What you can have over here is astounding, what you can have over here if you become a successful, and that's exactly what immigrants do. You get like people from India come right in, become software engineers. Did you guys know software engineers in America get paid way better than a lot of other places in the world? Not only is the pay higher, the taxes are lower. So you get both ends. You get lower taxes, higher pay. So people in India, they learn how to code, they come right over, they live a beautiful life. They get to have children. They get to have a little McMansion right here in America. And it's like, are you going to do that in Sweden, Finland, and Norway and all those other? Probably not. It's probably possible, but you just won't have the same level of success. So all the people, they hate America. They probably don't like themselves that much, is my suspicion. And they would just love to become like Sweden and all these other places. And I just don't think that they've done enough of an analysis of what's really going on. And we use this really easy sweeping language, like oh yeah, Sweden's way better than America. Is it? You really? So if you got together all the people of America and you actually started to look at the lives of the successful people in America, and you said, Sweden's better than all this, right? Have you guys driven around America a little bit? There's some really gorgeous places. Beautiful. I mean, it's a huge country. Really beautiful land. And a lot of wealth for you to buy things on that land. So if you take like the poor in America, and there's plenty of poor in America as well, and you compare them to the middle class in Sweden, you're going to think that America is some sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland. But that's because that's what everyone hyper-focuses on when they make this comparison. And they don't compare America's actually successful class to the people in places like Sweden. You don't make that comparison because that would be very inconvenient if you're somebody like Bernie Sanders who wants to radically change the tax system in America. But it's a challenge. I think a lot of people also misunderstand this about America too. They think that America doesn't have welfare. America has an astounding amount of welfare. So it's not like Americans are just, left homeless. This is a terrific country to be struggling financially. There's all kinds of grants and there's all kinds of, if you are a smart kid in America, you will find money for you to go to school. You can get a student loan, you can get a scholarship, you can get a grant. If you're like a poor minority, you can get preferential treatment for those financial things, which actually, ironically, almost seems a little racist. But there's a lot of welfare actually in America. There's a lot of charity in America. There's a lot of jobs in America, a lot of good paying jobs. And to make those kind of comparisons between a place like Sweden and America, I just think it's a silly comparison. Again, like take Sweden and actually put it on America's border and see what happens with the heavy welfare state that seems so open to, just throw the borders open, it'll be fine. We can somehow afford this. No, because money is not about political feelings. Money actually is accounted for. It's measurable. You know what I'm saying? So Sweden would have to make a tremendous amount of money to account for all that. And we love that comparison from them. They live all by themselves off on an island. You know what I mean? Anyways, did he already do his expectations on Alatreon? Alatreon's going to kick your booty butt. Child support is devil. Fairly more relaxed work culture, too, compared to Asia. I love hardcore work cultures, by the way. I love Japan's work culture. Is one of the things I respect in them. And I think that all countries should strive to work harder. The whole 30 hours a week. Pathetic. 40, 50, 60. Come on. You can retire young if you work hard enough. Kajet Till says there are more billionaires in China now than in the United States. That might be true. China, they've got a lot going for them right now. There's a reason why everyone wants to have their products created in China, and that's because they don't really have a minimum wage like we do, and so their people, get a lot of work done. It's a tough comparison to make between China and America, but it shows you that the market does not care about your political aspirations. The market cares about who provides the service in the best way, the highest quality service at the lowest price, and that's all there is to a market. And you can try to do protectionist policies in your country, and you can try to ignore the market and fight the market, but guess what? It just doesn't work that way. You can't just tell China, sorry, China, you're not allowed to have low minimum wages in your country. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? We can be smart about it, but there's only so much you can do about it. TGC, my super chat was asking you to play Sword and Shield. Just wanted to say that I did super chat. I never saw it. I never saw your super chat. Let me scroll through. Snake's Tube, Anik. Huh. I'm so sorry, man. I must have missed it. We will have to catch back up on that, okay, Chase? I believe you, so we will have to catch up on that. Broman says, TGC here flexing on the rest of the world. This is an amazing country. We find deals for you. Says, most people I've seen met who moved to use are wealthier than I am. Mauricio says, I want to learn heavy bowgun. Where do I begin? Probably by picking up the heavy bowgun. Byronia says, I don't think our healthcare is better for most people, though. It's definitely better at the top, but lots of people go bankrupt. We eat terribly, though, and we should incentivize healthier living. Begin by making a heavy bowgun. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream. The conversation got really interesting right at the end, right? Pow Pow says, at this point, it becomes more about what an individual values in their lives. My friend who grew up in Japan worked 80 hours a week, 6 days a week. He moved here and loves the 40-hour week. Well, I feel like especially when you're young, you're able to get away with working a lot of hours in the week. But, when you get older and you settle down, you have a family, you really do want to slow down on the number of hours that you work. But when you're young, go crazy, guys. Do not be afraid to work like a madman when you're young. That's what sets you apart. That's what allows you to become wealthy, is the ability to use those extra hours and to get that overtime and to get that money, you know what I mean? And invest your money properly, try to start your own business. Do that while you're young and go for as long as you can. But then when you're getting a little older, you're a little tireder, you got children now, then you slow down, you settle down. Mark says, I disagree with you, but this is very interesting. I do like the different point of view. It has differently made me rethink some things. For sure, man. Well, and I don't really expect to change anyone's mind right away, but I actually feel really confident in my positions just from all of my life experiences. For those of you who didn't know, I left home when I was 17. I was homeless very, very briefly, but ever since I was 17, I took care of myself. No help at all. I had a homeschooling. It was a garbage education. I had no public high school at all. And I still graduated from college with a science degree in computer science. Turned out that high school didn't matter. All you got to do is read books if you want to get smart. You don't actually. And I'm older now. I've got this successful YouTube channel. I could have been a software engineer. But my point of view is that people need to be more competitive if they want to really succeed. And if you think that you can succeed by simply taxing others, you're going to drive out your actual smart, competitive people. So in a nutshell, those are my beliefs. You have to have a competitive tax rate that attracts the best people. And if you think you can just tax money out of people, you don't understand how easy it is to immigrate these days. It's very easy. All right, anyways, that's going to be the end. I'm going to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.